and welcome to our apartment in Sevilla, Spain. So the first thing that you see when you walk in the house is our lovely table with our dusty old chairs, and we got a table cover that is too short for our table. You can tell that we're first-time apartment owners. And also, this is Bernard, our plant, our first plant. If anybody knows anything about plants, let us know why it's looking a little crusty. Help us out here. We need some tips for taking care of plants. As you can see, this is a great apartment because a lot of natural light comes in. We have very big windows and we have tall ceilings. So even though really it's kind of small, it looks very spacious. Other than that, we have our couch. Don't you just love that color blue?
You can see the dust coming out. It's been well loved over the years.
And if we take a look over here, we have some tools that we have for the house. So for example, on hot days, we have a fan. We also have the laundry rack. We actually don't have a dryer in this apartment and it's very hot here. So we can either hang our wet clothes here or upstairs to dry, which is great because it saves energy and saves money. And we also have a heater for the winter because it gets pretty cold here in the winter, surprisingly. Anyways, we also have this section over here, which is our TV, which isn't even plugged in because really we don't watch TV that much. We also have a yoga mat, some winter clothes, and my art stuff. Anyways, this is our living room. So let's move on into the kitchen.
Okay, so as you can see here, we have a really crusty, dusty ladder, and this guy really helped us out during the winter because I had a mold problem in my room. So if we have any tips for you for apartment hunting, one would be try to see if you can, if there's already mold in the house or like potential for it to become that, because sometimes your landlord doesn't want to help you clean it, and so they'll drop off a ladder, or maybe they won't. For us, it was difficult because the ceilings are so high. I don't know if you can tell in the video, it's at least twice my height.
When we're moving through the living room, we have the hallway. So 2 rooms, my room and Clara's room. This is where we hang some jackets and backpacks. So let's go into the kitchen.
I feel like we're almost like celebrity house tour, like Architect Digest people. When we were looking for an apartment, we specifically wanted a good sized kitchen because one of our goals this year was to learn how to cook. We cook a lot here. We keep our spices here. Here are some of our faves. Very important.
El ajo es el mejor.
And then we keep here snacks, dry goods, stuff like that. Not that bad. Okay, so we have crackers, peanut butter. Peanut butter is surprisingly very hard to find in Spain.
That's our neighbor's window over there. They hear us often talking random things.
They hear us singing reggaeton. We have this and then a hell of fruit because that's all we eat.
Somos bien fruteras.
One thing we found out we'd really like to do here is go to a fruteria for our fruit and vegetables instead of a grocery store because it's a lot more fresh.
So here we have a drying rack because we don't have a dishwasher. We have a water heater as well. So whenever we want to take a shower, we just have to plug that in. In this cabinet, all of our
Plates and utensils.
So some of these we had to buy ourselves. Some of it was already here. This is our favorite part, guys. If you're a meat eater, you have to try jamón in Spain. This is bomb, okay? We have a lot of foods, a lot of healthy foods. We like to take care of ourselves. Also, don't look at that bottle of liquor. Anyways. Also, down here in this cabinet, we have all of our cleaning products. Clara and I switch off every week's cleaning the bathroom and the kitchen. Moving out of the kitchen, let's go into the bathroom.
So here's our bathroom. This was honestly a pretty good size for the ones that we saw. Our shower is kind of a bathtub.
It's really small though, as you can see, so you can only sit in it. You can't like really lay. We also share all of our products, so these are kind of like our shower products. We use baby shampoo. Here's the window. We have a pretty good view of just the patio. Here's the mirror. What's up? So it's a pretty small bathroom. That's not ideal, but it is what it is. It's better than a lot of other ones that we saw. So right next to the bathroom, we have Clara's room.
So this is my room. The ceilings are really tall, so sometimes I feel like I'm sleeping in a cave, but it's really cool. I like the amount of light that comes in. I really like the view from this window. It's the same as from the bathroom.
And that's my window right there.
And sometimes there's little parrots that come eat the oranges outside.
We have neighbors in the tree. Anyway, she has this little desk, and that's also another heater for the winter.
Yeah, and then I keep my clothes here.
This is my room. This is my bed. Right now, I'm really only sleeping with a sheet because it's hot here. We have my dresser, which has all of the great stuff. I have my clothes. I already took out all of my winter clothes, so this is just kind of like summer clothes. Up here, I keep my books, my camera, some of my bags, my masks, and my pants, and my beauty products, and any other products. This is a pretty nice place to just keep everything like off of here and out of sight so that it looks more cleaned and decluttered. Obviously, we have very little stuff here because we knew that we would only be here for about 8 months. This is just, you know, a nightstand where I put my stuff. I have my shoes in here, and I like to light incense at night, so this is like a little incense tray. And I bought this little octopus for my nephew, so I'm excited to give that to him when I go back to the US. And here are some decorations, pictures of my family and friends, just to keep a reminder of them. And I bought this cute little decoration with little elephants on it in Barcelona. This is my view. I also love this window because it brings a lot of natural light in. So as I previously mentioned, we only signed an 8-month contract to live in this apartment because we knew that during the summer we'd be returning back to the US. So we will be returning back to Sevilla in September. So we will no longer be in this apartment after a week. Actually, we'll be here for 1 more week and then we'll be moving out. So maybe next year when we come, we'll film another house tour. So we got a pretty good deal for this apartment because we're paying 640 euros a month, which comes out to 320 euros a month. And it's a pretty good price because we're in a very nice neighborhood, very central location, and it's just a very safe and beautiful neighborhood. It has great architecture and cute little apartments like this. And this is a pretty good sized apartment as well. I've been in other people's apartments and they're pretty small and have less lighting, so we feel pretty lucky that we got such a good option.
So apart from rent, we have to pay electricity and Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi we had to find without the help of our landlord, so that's something that here is sold independently. So we pay for Wi-Fi 30 euros a month, so it's 15 each. And then electricity depends. If we're freezing our butts off and it's winter, we're using the heaters, then it's going to be more expensive. Also, I know in summer when people use fans here, the electricity tends to go up. Lately, it's been maybe 80 total, but that totally depends on the month and the time of year. The south of Spain in general has the reputation of being cheaper. It also depends on if you're living in a big city or not, but for us, Seville was considerably cheaper compared to Seattle. We've been told by people here that even the place we're living at is expensive, but we didn't know this because just compared to Seattle, it's so much of a better option. So that was kind of a perk coming here for us.
So that's it from this apartment tour. Thank you so much for watching.
See you next time.